Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Nice to see you here. Welcome back. It's me, Preston. I just wanted to make a kind of a follow-up video for my last video because my last video I felt like I was being kind of a downer and I didn't want anyone to get the wrong impression. I don't want people to see me in a down, negative way, but it is what it is, right? The apples. Why do I have so many apples here? You're probably asking. That's a good question. I went to the Walmart today, and I always get apples, but I usually pick them out. I get a few of them at a time, and I decided to buy one of those bags today, and I have so many apples. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But the reason I wanted to make this video today was to explain something that I see on YouTube. I see a lot of people that make videos, and I've gotten a lot of comments on things I should make videos about. One of them I wanted to address that I completely agree with other people having problems is how do you tell people you have Tourette's? That is one of my struggles on a daily basis. And I think the reason it's so challenging because Tourette syndrome is such a complex condition. There are so many aspects to it and there's so much to know. I have had Tourette syndrome for my entire life and I still don't understand half of it. I don't understand to this day why I do these weird things, but it is, I know I do it. And so I know it's real, even though a lot of people say it's fake. I can assure you it's real. But because of its complexity, it's difficult to quickly tell somebody. And usually when it's brought up or when I need to explain it, I have a very short window that I can address Tourette syndrome and that I have it and what it is. And honestly, by the time I usually have enough time to explain it, we are so off course and off topic that we don't get back to the same conversation. And that's a little disappointing to me a lot because it makes me feel bad when I'm having a good conversation and somebody will stop and say, "Are you all right? Is there something in your eye? Or why do you keep doing that? Or why do you keep twitching like that?" One of the million things they could say, I don't know. But then me explaining, well, I actually have Tourette syndrome, or sometimes I'll just say I have a tic disorder and tell them that I've had it ever since I was a kid, and sometimes I just have muscle movements and twitches like that. It's not a big deal. What were you saying? And I try to get back on to the topic. But I guess the reason I'm making this video is maybe some people could leave some comments. If you want, leave some comments on ways that you go about quickly telling somebody that you have Tourette's in a way that doesn't stop you from continuing the rest of the conversation and doesn't make it so that you spend another 10 minutes with Q&A time. Because I understand that Tourette syndrome has been blown out of proportion in the media, and the majority of people only see that, and they've had no real experience with Tourette's in their real life. So even me, if there were, with something I've never seen before, I've only seen in Hollywood, I would have a lot of questions because I want to make sure that I have the right idea of it and know what is really entitled with the condition. So I understand the curiosity, but it is because people are so interested. A lot of times, there's a lot of questions and answering that I could talk about it all day, but I talk about it in my head all day with myself, and it's one of those things where I don't like to talk about it anymore. And so I don't know if you have any ideas on what helps with you. That way you're not the, oh, I'm Preston with Tourette's. I'm just Preston, because that's who I want to be, is just Preston. I don't want to be, oh, that guy in the office, you know, the guy that twitches. Yeah, I'll go stop by his desk. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be able to have a conversation, but I also want to get it out in as fast as possible. It's kind of funny because even scientists don't know. No one knows the real, you know, the reason, the cause, the effect, why this is like this, and what can be done about it. My personal opinion, and I'm not trying to be negative here. I don't want anyone. I don't want to take away hope from anyone, because hope is a very valuable thing to have. But I don't necessarily think it can be cured. But I don't think there needs to be a cure, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not. It's an inconvenience, but I think by curing it, you're also going to take away other aspects of me that are important, and things that I've learned to live with, and that I enjoy. And so if I could take away the Tourette's, I don't know, because it's been such a part of me my entire life that it's hard to say. I hate when it gets bad, but mild Tourette's is not so bad. The OCD, the depression, the things like that bother me more than the tics. But the tics, the reason they're so bad is because the embarrassment factor, and it's embarrassing as hell to be in a Denny's and the person on the other side of you is looking at you the entire time, where you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, and this lady on the other table or whatever keeps looking at you, wondering why you're doing that, and it's very distracting. But I don't know. the tics, that's the worst part of the tics. It's the other things that come along with the tics that I think are a bigger issue, and that is part of the Tourette syndrome. I mean, syndrome isn't just one thing. There's so many characteristics that go along with Tourette syndrome, and that are closely related with Tourette syndrome, and that appear in many people that have Tourette syndrome. And so not just the tics, but the OCD, the obsessive, the obsessing, the maybe intrusive thoughts that a lot of people have, autism, ADHD, ADD, everything under the sun. It all, it's in the same part of the brain. The same chemicals and receptors and membranes and everything that I don't understand, because I'm not a doctor, even though I wish I was. All that affects the same characteristics, so you have a lot of the same outlying conditions that appear. And so to tell people all that, to say every little complex thing is just, it could be a talk show. But the thing with Tourette's is that no one, it's not interesting. It's not as interesting unless it's blown up. Like corpulalia is more interesting, but that's a lot more rare, and even somebody that has corpulalia, probably it's not like that's all they have. It's not like they only cuss. They cuss and they do tics. So I don't know how I'm getting off on that subject, but I think awareness is a big thing that people need to know more about Tourette's, but I also don't know if that's really ever going to be something that is just going to be common. Like, for instance, there was a lot of racism for hundreds of years, and there still is today, and yet people are still having a hard time wrapping their head around how a white person or a black person or any other race is really just the same. They're the exact same. They have a hard time accepting that. So to try and that is like, to me, that's just like, well, okay, so these are all apples. Like, this one is darker than this one, but I would still eat one and they're still going to taste exactly the same. But for it to take that long for people to learn and be aware that black people and white people and Mexicans are all the same, now to try to explain to everybody, you know what, he has Tourette's, but he's not stupid. It maybe will happen. I don't know if it's in my lifetime. I don't think it's going to get enough media coverage in a realistic way that people will ever understand it. And I don't think, even if they understood it, they don't have enough interaction with people with Tourette's for them to apply it in their everyday life. So when somebody that would meet somebody with Tourette's, they're still going to want to talk about it. So I started this video with a goal in mind, and about 2-3 seconds in, I got off on some tangent. I don't even know if I'm going to post this video, because it was really just me ranting about comparing white and black people to apples. But I don't know, it feels good to talk on the camera, I guess. Therapeutic. I really just wanted to let everybody know, the last video, that was me having some bad tics. Yeah, we all have days like that. I've had a few more days in the last couple months like that, but I don't want it to appear me being negative or hurting myself or anything like that. Life is good. You just gotta give it some time. But anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. Please leave some comments on how you explain to people that you have Tourette's, and also how you get out of the air quickly, and so that you don't have to talk about it all the time, and anything that helps you with how you are perceived as, or how you at least feel like you're perceived as yourself rather than the guy with Tourette's. Go ahead and leave me some comments. I really love when you do. Have a good night, guys, and thanks for watching. All right, bye.